Hey y'all, this is Ms. Rodriguez. We covered continuous domain last time. Now we're going to work on continuous range. The process is very similar. So let's get started. Range. It's a set of all possible y values of a function. Now, if there are two n values, we're going to take whatever our lowest number is. I'm going to take this low number. We're going to set up our inequality, y, inequality again, and then whatever our high number is. All right, so this is our high number. This will be our general setup. You can draw these little boxes underneath your inequality, again, as your setup, so that as you go through, you know whether or not you need to color it in to make it equal or not. We'll get into an example here in just a second. So for range, for domain, when you went low to high, you were going left to right. Range kind of has the same idea, but now instead of side to side, we need to go down and up. So our low number in this case is actually considered the bottom number. Okay, this is our bottom number. And for our high number, that's up. When you go down to up. High number is on the top side. So over here, if you want to write yourself a note so you can remember when you are looking at range, remember to go down to up. Okay, so let's look at this number one as an example. So as you can see, it's going to have two n values because if we go down, this is our lowest point that this graph can possibly go. I'm going to draw a line showing where the very bottom most part of this graph is going to go. Okay, and then we also have a line up top because that is the highest that our graph can go. Now for my general setup, right, we have some number less than little box y, less than little box, and then another big box. Okay, so if I'm looking for my bottom number, I'm going to go to my bottom line, and the value of this bottom line is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So I'm going to put a -5 in this box. And because the graph is touching this line, I'm going to color in this one. Okay, so if my box is colored in, that means it's going to be a closed circle or the graph is touching the line. That also counts. If we had an open box, then we have an open circle. Okay, and so because my graph touches the line, I'm going to color in there. Then we have y, and now we're looking at the top side. My highest value is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is a closed circle, so therefore I am going to color in this box. So if I translate this to the way it will actually end up looking on your assignments, we're going to have -5 less than equal to y less than equal to 4. So this is how it's going to work if we have two n values. Now what are we going to do when we don't have two n values but we only have one? Okay, well, it depends on where that one n value is at. So I'm going to split this space in half. Now if we have the line on top, here's your line on top, then it'll be -infinity less than, draw that little box, y less than little box, and then your high number. So let's look at number 2, for example. All right, so if you look at your graph, I see I have an endpoint here. I'm going to take my highlighter. We're talking about range, so the line goes side to side. Okay, and then I'm going to keep following my graph oh look, I have an arrow, which means it's going to go on forever, and so therefore I'm not going to have a bottom value because it's just going to keep going. So my line is on top of my graph. So if I do this setup, we have negative infinity, less than, little box, y less than, little box, big box. Okay, and the y value of this line, or of this high number, is 3. Okay, it is not possible to touch infinity or negative infinity because it goes on forever. So we are not going to color in this box. And then if you look at this endpoint, it is an open circle. Based off what we said over here, an open circle means an open box. So I'm also not going to color in this box. So again, translating this into what it'll look like on your assignments and on your tests, it is negative infinity less than y less than 3. So this is what it's going to look like when your line is on top. Now, what happens if the line is on the bottom? Well, then we're basically just doing the reverse of this. So you're going to start with your low number, less than little box, y less than little box, infinity. So again, let's look at number 3 as an example. Okay, starting, well, you always go, which way do we start? Down to up. So start down, going. Oh look, here's the beginning of our graph. So I'm going to draw a line that indicates this endpoint. Right there, okay? And then I'm gonna keep going up. Oh, we have an arrow, which means it's gonna go on forever and I can't ever touch it, so therefore I'm not gonna have a line up top. So here we are, we have one line and it's on the bottom of our graph. So we're gonna use our general setup. We have a big box, less than, little box, y, less than, little box, infinity. All right, so our low number would be the value of this line. It's not going up or down any, so therefore it's going to be 0. My endpoint is closed. If I have a closed circle, it is going to be colored in. So I'm going to color in my little box. Okay, and then my high value is infinity. I can't touch infinity. So I'm not going to color in this box, which means if I translate this, I end up having 0 less than equal to y less than infinity. All right, and last question, what happens if we don't have any n values at all? Well, if I don't have anything on the bottom, it means I can't touch it. If I don't have anything up top, that means I can't draw that line either. So I'm going to have negative infinity is less than y less than infinity. Okay, another way we can say this, instead of writing out this long inequality, we can also call this all real numbers. So here for a while at the beginning, we're going to be using both of these forms, but eventually you need to remember that whenever we say all real numbers, we actually mean this. These are one and the same. Or there's a fancy symbol that represents all real numbers because mathematicians are lazy and hate writing more than we have to. It looks like an R with like 2 lines. So that's another way to write all real numbers. All right, so let's look at this example. Bottom to up, so down to up. So here's the bottom. Oh, there's an arrow. I can't draw any lines because it keeps going. So let's work our way up. Oh, look, another arrow. I can't draw any more lines because that is also gonna keep going. So if we do our general setup, you know, box less than little box, y less than little box, big box, Okay, we said our low number was negative infinity. We said our high number was infinity, and because we can't touch them, then we're not going to color in our boxes. So translating, we get negative infinity less than y less than infinity. And that's it.